Good morning, everyone. I wanted to take the time this morning to show you guys how I make my plant-based waffles. I'm just in my PJs. I'm a little sleepy, but I'm going to try my best to show you how I make my waffles. I'll take you over to the kitchen and I'll show you some of the ingredients I use. Okay, let's go. Over in the kitchen now. And I'll show you what I use in the waffles. Just all-purpose flour in there. I use pumpkin puree, just like plain pumpkin puree, not like pumpkin pie filling. Then a bit of salt, baking powder. We don't use Mona, but she's here to join us. Coconut oil, brown sugar. We use flaxseed, and over here I've got an empty jar. It says almond milk on it, and I'm gonna show you also how I make like my overnight almond milk. So over here I've got almonds soaking, so we're gonna use the soaked almonds in the Vitamix. I've already got some water in the Vitamix there, and I'll show you how I make the almond milk first, and then we can get started, right, Mona? What do you think?
No.
Mona? You say hi to the camera? Hi, Moni. Okay, so I've got the almonds here, and Mona as well. All I do is after they've spent the night in water, I just dump them in my colander. And I do give them a quick little rinse because they get kind of slimy if you don't rinse them off. And then this is what we're going to be blending. And then we're going to take these guys here after we shake it out, and I'll transfer it over here into the Vitamix. Now with the Vitamix, if you have a Vitamix, it only takes about 2 minutes in the Vitamix. So we just put the lid on and we start it, and we go up to the highest speed for 2 minutes. And then that'll get it blended. You might have to do it a lot longer with a less powerful blender, but for this, I just started at 1 and then I slowly work my way up. So this is what it looks like when it's done. I'll take the lid off so you can see. It'll be nice and foamy at the top. And blended, you shouldn't see too many almonds in there anymore. So the next thing we have to do after this is done is grab a big bowl. Okay, so we've got this bowl to use, and then I just realized I have to run upstairs and grab the flour sack towel. Okay. And flour sack towel acquired. Okay, let's go back down. What I do next is I now grab this over here, and I make sure I find a section of the towel that doesn't have any holes in it, and then I just start pouring. Oh, and I forgot to mention earlier, but you mix it with 5 cups of water. So there's 5 cups to 1 cup of almond. That's what it looks like. And then what we're gonna do is gonna be hard to film, but I gather the corners, and then I'm gonna pick this up, and you can already see that there's some that have went through, but I'm gonna have to squeeze this by hand. So I'll try to show you a little bit. Let me maybe set you up on the tripod and I'll show you. That's what it looks like. And it's all strained out. And then I'm just pretty much just gonna pour this into the jar that said almond milk on it. And you wanna store it in the fridge. It'll last for, I would say, like 3 to 4 days in the fridge before it starts to go bad. It doesn't last as long as like a store-bought almond milk because there's no preservatives in it. But it's nice for when we're cooking. That's why I only use a little bit of this recipe. Like you could double it if you wanted more almond milk, but I find the 5 cups of almond milk is plenty for us as a family. And then what I do with the extra is I'll sometimes make like crackers with it. Maybe I'll make a recipe at some point showing how I make crackers in our dehydrator, but sometimes that's what I'll do with the extra like almond meal. I'll show you. It's just a almond meal at this point. And then we can start our waffle recipe now, which is nice. So I feel like I talk about flaxseed eggs a lot, but they're really important to a lot of plant-based cooking, baking, because they act as the binder or the egg. So I'm just going to do that now really quickly, and I'm going to let the egg sit in here. So you just take 2 of these, since we need 2 egg substitutes. We take 2 of those, we grind it up, and then we put 6 tablespoons of water. Okay, I will show you what it looks like after the egg has sat there for about 10 minutes, and then we'll have the flaxseed egg, and then we can start mixing in our stand-up mixer. We've got our flaxseed egg here. It's all ready to go. I'm just gonna dump that straight into the stand-up mixer. I like to take a separate bowl to put all the dry ingredients in. We put 2 cups of flour, 4 teaspoons of baking powder, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. I take about a 1/4 teaspoon of the salt. And then after that's all in there, I just mix it around. Next, I will add the almond milk, 1 cup, and then 3/4. So I'll do 3 of these. I added in the 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. And then what I like to do is I like to do also a 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil. So I'm going to measure that out, put it in the microwave for a few seconds just to melt it, and then add it to the batter. Now what we will do is add all of the dry part. It's hard to do this with one hand. Have to get used to that. Got that all in there, and then you're gonna put it on like a 1 or a 2 just to kind of mix that in. And it will slowly mix in. It's okay if there's a few clumps. It's not a big deal. You don't need to sift the flour or anything. And then turn it up once the flour is incorporated. And mix until it looks about like that. And now that is ready to use. I'll take this out of here and show you the consistency. Okay. And then we can put this in the waffle iron now because our waffle iron is almost heated up. So I'll put a little bit more oil in the waffle iron, and then I'll show you how much to pour in there. We've got the waffle iron heated up there. I'm gonna take over here about a 1/2 cup of the batter. press it down now. And you'll see that it kind of rises up there. That's what you're looking for. Look at that right there. Perfect. And then we just wait and cook it based on your waffle iron instructions. So this just turns green on ours when it's done, and you can kind of test out like the different settings. Ours, I find it has to be at high to cook it, and then yeah, it'll just go green when it's done, and I'll show you the finished product in a second. And we've got the green light, so we can open this now. That's what it looks like when it's done. And all I do is I set up like a little rack there, and I put them there temporarily until we start eating, because you don't want them to go soggy on the one side. This recipe, it makes 7 waffles. I've got them all sitting over here. That's what they look like when they're done. One of the nice parts about this recipe is you can make them all and then freeze them. They actually freeze really well. That's what I do, is I just put them in a bag and put them in the freezer. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Thanks for watching. I'll be sure to link the recipe down below from our website. If you enjoyed today's video, definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when we go live next. I'm also really active on Instagram, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, I'll leave that below as well. I post daily stories, have a lot of the same content on Instagram, but I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.